this is Crash Course Biology. Today we're going to shed some light on the Calvin cycle. I cracked myself up. The Calvin cycle is the second stage in the photosynthetic process. The first stage converts solar energy to chemical energy, which is the light reactions, or the photo part of photosynthesis. If you want more information on the light reactions, click in the link in the right-hand corner. Okay, just kidding, don't actually click there, this was ours. The Calvin cycle is similar to the citric acid cycle. The only difference is that the Calvin cycle is anabolic and the citric acid cycle is catabolic. The anabolic Calvin cycle is how the cycle builds sugar from smaller molecules and consumes energy. To facilitate the Calvin cycle, carbon enters the chloroplast in the form of CO2 and will eventually leave as sugar or glucose. Yet, the sugar that this cycle produces is not quite glucose. Rather, there's a 3-carbon sugar called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. To produce one of these sugars, the cycle must input 3 CO2 molecules to the Calvin cycle. Come on, biology, it's 2017, we should be a little bit more efficient. Anyway, to produce this sugar, the cycle needs energy, which is why it spends adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, and consumes NADPH. Hey guys, you want to hear the formula for it?
No!
G21, H29, N7, O17, P3.
I said no.
Anyway, there are 3 stages in the Calvin cycle. Carbon fixation starts the cycle, followed by reduction and regeneration. Carbon fixation is the first step in the Calvin cycle. The initial 3 molecules of CO2 are incorporated into the cycle by attaching themselves to a 5-carbon sugar, or RUBP. The enzyme that catalyzes this reaction is called rubisco. The result of this catalyzed reaction is a 6-carbon unstable molecule, which inevitably splits to form 2 3-carbon molecules for each initial CO2 molecule inputted. Oh, it's time for the mystery document.
The rules here are simple. If I guess the author of the document, I don't get shocked, and if I don't, I do. Alright. The dark fixation of carbon dioxide by green algae has been investigated and found to be closely related to photosynthesis fixation. By illumination in the absence of carbon dioxide followed by treatment with radioactive carbon dioxide in the dark, the amount of fixed has been increased 10 to 20-fold. This rate of maximum fixation approaches photosynthesis maximum rates. The majority of the radioactive products formed under these conditions have been identified and isolated, and the distribution of labeled carbon determined. From these results, a tentative scheme for the mechanism of photosynthesis is set forth. I'm going to guess that's a piece by Melvin Calvin regarding photosynthesis. What the heck? I got it right.
I know. Phase 2 of the Calvin cycle is reduction. Each molecule of 3-phosphoglycerate receives an additional phosphate group from ATP, becoming 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Next, the 3-bisphosphoglycerate turns into G3P due to a pair of electrons being donated from NADPH. This happens because the electrons from the NADPH reduce the carboxyl group of 3-phosphoglycerate to aldehyde group of G3P, which stores potential energy. G3P is the same 3-carbon formed in glycolysis, but only 1 molecule of this 3-carbon sugar can be counted as a net gain of carbohydrate. When the cycle began, it had 15 carbons worth of carbohydrate in the form of 3 molecules of the 5-carbon sugar, RUBP. Now there are 18 carbons worth of carbohydrate in the form of 6 molecules of G3P. Oh my gosh, so many numbers. 1 molecule exits the cycle to be used by the plant cell, but the other 5 molecules must be recycled to regenerate the 3 molecules of RUBP.
Ugh, I need to regenerate that shot. The third step in the Calvin cycle is the regeneration of the CO2 receptor RUBP. It turns into 3 molecules of ATP. This makes the RUBP able to receive CO2 again, and the cycle repeats. For the creation of 1 G3P molecule, the cycle consumes 9 molecules of ATP and 6 of NADPH. The G3P becomes the starting material for metabolic pathways that synthesize organic compounds like glucose and carbohydrates. Only the combination of light reactions and the Calvin cycle can produce glucose from CO2.
Today we're gonna shed some light
Do all you guys' projects have memes in them?
Yeah.
Yes.
They all have memes.
That's the definition of AP biology. If you want more information on the light reactions, click in the link in the right hand corner. Is that right? Actually.
That's left.
Nicole, turn around!
I'm trying to move the sword.
Hey, Lillian.
Got caught.